is Mark Graney, and I think that Joshua Hood is the best author on the planet. Rob a bank, because it would just be kind of awesome. I'd have a whole crew like go in, like Point Break style. Like I'd want to be Reagan carrying the big pistol, and then we could go surfing after. Actually, when I was on SWAT is when I wrote my first book, I guess my first couple books. And, in that type of culture, we have this team room, and it's like, very eat your young culture, nothing sacred or whatever. And I had a team leader at the time, and we loved each other, but we would always get into it. And when he would get really pissed off, he would go to Amazon and read my bad reviews aloud to the entire team. And like some of them were pretty rough. Like, this guy, what did he write this book in crayons? Like, this dude, does he even speak English? Did he even edit this book? And I ate goat liver when I was in Afghanistan, which was kind of weird. It actually wasn't bad the way they cooked with some type of spices, and it tasted good. Going down and coming up. When I was little, I always wanted to be Spider-Man. I used to apparently climb around the walls and do all that stuff. And I think that back in the day when they only had cartoons, that led me into comic books, and comic books kind of led me into books. And what's crazy is now my son's bouncing around pretending to be Spider-Man. So maybe it's genetic. It's a good question. I don't know, something by the Doors, maybe. I don't see the resemblance, but I've had quite a few people say I look like Mark Wahlberg, which I don't see at all. But I've gone multiple places. A couple months ago, I was pulled up to the drive-thru at Wendy's, and the lady's like, "Do you know that you look like Mark Wahlberg?" No, I don't. But enough people have said it where I'd be like, let's get Mark Wahlberg, which is also a writing tip. If there's a struggling author out there struggling with the book, just imagine Mark Wahlberg playing the character in your book. And there's like a 9 out of 10 chance that he starred in some movie that in some way relates to your book. And when I get stuck, I was like, what would Mark do? Either old school or Step Brothers. Do we just become best friends? I use that line probably once a week. I would take Brad Taylor, obviously. Or take Mark Graney, because that dude is he's frosty with some weapons. Like, I've shot with him a lot, and people might not know that, but that guy, he can shoot. And then you need like either the crazy guy or the bait. So who would you pick? I'd pick Simon Gervais, because he's good with a knife, and you always need a knife guy. So with the Guardian, I learned a lot of stuff about mining, illegal mining in the Congo that I didn't know. I learned a lot about the Congo, how one of the largest countries in Africa has the least amount of paved roads. Little things that you wish you could work in, but sometimes, I don't know if it's that I don't have the skill set, or it's, these, you just can't put it in the story. But a lot of times those nuggets, you collect enough of them, and they turn into other stories, which is bizarre. Like, if you could go back in time, you could pull the whole, what was it, Back to the Future 3, where you take your little guidebook and of all the bets and cards and everything that make money, and then set yourself up for success.